Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls around the world.
And dogs and cats.
Dogs and cats living together. It's pandemonium.
This is The Strong
this is
and the Geek.
the Strong and the Geek podcast. I am your host, Ben Ramirez. With me today is my special guest co-host, not Hannibal Buress.
That's correct. I feel like every single week I have to just admit it's not me because
Were you about to do a Hannibal Buress accent and then choose to not?
I don't think I could if I tried.
I was going to say, like, you nodded like you were about to, and then you're like, that's right.
Yeah, I don't think I could pull one off.
Yeah, anyway. So, it's been a big week for me. How about for you? What'd you get into this week?
Well, I didn't get into a whole lot, so I wasn't going to necessarily just bore the listeners with 5 minutes of me talking about nonsensical things I did that really are not commentable.
Okay, good, because I'm going to talk about myself.
Well, then go ahead, because I just have some geek news I wanted to talk
All right, well, then
about.
do that first.
Okay, well, first things first. So this week in Geek, see what I did there? I just wanted to mention first off, and this is not necessarily brand new news, but we haven't discussed it, so I was excited to share that. So the Flash, there was talks about Joss Whedon directing an episode of Flash or Arrow or one of them.
Oh, right.
And so the rumor mill is that the Supergirl Flash crossover this season is going to be a 2-part musical episode.
Oh, okay.
And Joss Whedon supposedly is going to be directing that one.
Oh, that's fun.
So I don't know exactly if by musical episode it means that they're just it's going to be like that episode Scrubs.
Yeah.
Or it's just randomly a musical, or if they are going to maybe have them fight like the Fiddler or one of those musical villains.
Yeah, or possibly just a villain that kind of warps reality or messes with people's minds.
Right, or if it's going to be like that episode of Justice League Unlimited where Cersei turned Diana into a pig, and so she made Batman sing to make Diana to pay the price. Which, by the way, that Kevin Conroy is quite a singer, unless that was someone else doing the singing bit, but it sounded like him.
It's kind of like that episode of Ultimate Spider-Man where Loki turned Spider-Man into Spider-Ham.
Oh,
Peter Porker.
Cute. That's very Simpsons of them.
Yeah. Well, that's apparently from a joke comic that I never read.
Gotcha. Well, so I'm excited about that. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to Flash and Arrow and all them getting back up again. There's also been some talk about new characters being added to Legends, but I'm not sure who they are per se just yet.
Okay.
And then season 5 of Arrow has been confirmed that it's going to be the end of the flashbacks. So.
Well, that makes sense because they've caught up.
Yeah, with the beginning of season 1.
At this point, it would just be and now we're going to go -6 years to just show how much Oliver Queen was a fuck-up before he got
or the flashbacks will be concurrent with season 1. It would be another perspective of when he wasn't arrowing and what we didn't see.
Oh, God.
What was going on.
That would be too much.
That would just be crazy. I'd be meta as shit. All right, so go ahead and talk about yourself.
Well, actually, so long as we're talking geek news, and another point of geek news, The Runaways, the Marvel comic series, is getting a Hulu series.
Oh.
Which should be a lot of fun. The Runaways is about a group of kids that find out that their parents are secretly part of a league of supervillains, and so they steal tech and stuff from their parents, and they defeat them, and then they become a superhero team called the Runaways.
At some point, they ran away.
Yeah, but it's really kind of funny in its own way because the group of parents is so varied in the different things that it is. Instead of it being they're a bunch of tech villains or they're wizards or whatever, it's some of them are wizards and witches, some of them are futuristic, some of them are aliens.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids one of them has a telepathic link with a dinosaur, one of them has futuristic gauntlets he stole from his dad, one of them figures out she's a witch. You know what I mean? So it's very varied.
Yeah, it's kind of a very mixed and mangled box there.
Which at first you hear that and you're well, that sounds silly, and then you remember, oh wait, Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman basically fill that entire bill. And so does Tony Stark, Thor, Captain America. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did they get their powers from just this stuff they find?
Well, I think the ones that are genetically You know, like the witch or the alien, obviously.
They inherit magical powers.
And then the one who's like the kid of the super genius steals his dad's super genius tech.
Okay, well that seems reasonable.
I think it could be a really fun series.
Yeah. And Hulu, I mean, I don't think Hulu's shows are on par with Netflix, but they're not bad.
No, but they're not bad. They have some really funny cartoons on there.
Yeah. The only other thing that I found pretty exciting was obviously the Olympics finished last night. They culminated in the closing ceremony. And from the patriotic side of me, like, holy shit, America cleaned house.
Oh, yeah. It's like the rest of the world is just kind of giving up.
No, I don't know. Actually, see, this is the part that's awesome, is no, they didn't.
Yeah.
We still won. Like, they didn't give up, and we still won 121
like, for instance, I was reading an article where they're talking about how China's medal count has been decreasing over the last several Olympics.
Right.
But that is got a connection to the fact that they've shut down a lot of their basically like Olympic athlete gulags. I don't know. You know, they take the kids in from when they're like babies. Yeah. A lot of parents now, because they only have one child and
don't want to donate it to science.
Exactly. And now, because most people are getting good paying jobs over there as opposed to just the way it was before, they can afford to not sell their kid to the Chinese government, I guess.
Right. I was going to say also that maybe they're all too busy like manufacturing everything we use.
That's possible.
They don't have time to be, swinging from high bars and stuff.
Right.
But the other thing about the Olympics that was pretty funny was during the closing ceremony, so it's tradition, they always announce like the next and introduce the next country that will host the Olympics.
Right.
And so it's Japan, it's Tokyo. So the Prime Minister of Japan came out from like a warp pipe, like a Mario warp pipe.
Oh, that's cool.
Wearing a Mario hat. Cool?
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, cool's the word you're gonna use.
Yeah, that's like
okay. Then it's cool. We'll go with
that's cool.
Yeah, I when I saw it was very uncool.
Look, the Japanese have like three things. They have samurai, anime, and Mario.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I guess it's kind of cool when your country's leader is like, yeah, we're all fucking nerds. But I don't know.
Well, imagine if the next Olympics took place in like Boston and Obama came out draped in an American flag, holding an apple pie in one hand and like a Bible in the other. It was just like, woo, America, and then just like slammed it and walked out.
Yeah, that'd be very uncool.
That'd be super cool.
I would. For one thing,
that'd be a little pompous.
Actually, no. If that happened, I would be like, Obama, what are you doing here? You're so 2016. Like, this would be like 8 years from now minimum.
True dat.
Yeah.
But I meant in an alternate universe where the next one was in Boston.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. In the multiverse,
Olympic Games 2020, Boston.
Somewhere in the multiverse, that's a thing.
You're gonna get it, Boston, I promise.
I mean, hopefully they incorporate Mario into the Olympics as much as possible.
Well, you know what? He already had an Olympic Games with Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, not just one. They've had a Winter Games. They've had 2 Summer Games. So that's what I was kind of. I guess it would just made me chuckle because that's been kind of like an ongoing joke. This summer at work was us like kind of like joking around about Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, and so seeing it actually happen, I was like, no, get the hell out of here.
You'd think that Sonic would have a hard time at the Winter Olympics, wouldn't be able to get himself stopped on that ice.
Well, but he participates in like curling and skating and stuff.
Is he just the big puck that they use for curling?
No.
He rolls himself into that ball?
I don't think you understand. Like, it's not Mario and Sonic using their skill set to benefit them at the Olympics.
It just happens to be Winter Olympic sports.
It just happens to be Mario and Sonic, who for whatever reason qualify for every Olympic event, along with their friends, and so they're at the games participating.
I think it would be better if you played the game and there was like real Olympians from around the world, like Usain Bolt and Michael Phelps, and you can play as them, or you can choose to play as
Mario and Bowser.
And it's like, hey, Mario gets a benefit. He doesn't drown ever. He can breathe underwater.
Well, and the thing is like they don't.
Sonic not so good there.
I'm pretty sure like I don't know. I've never played it, but I'm pretty sure it's not like they have like power ups that like in curling Mario can use fire flower to melt the ice. No, like it just happens to be these characters doing Winter Olympics.
Yeah. God damn it.
They should Mario and Sonic should cross over with like Madden and FIFA. Not like Mario Soccer or Mario Football where it's stupid. Like actually just these sports games but happen to have like Super Smash Brothers characters.
Yeah. You mean like that thing that I just said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like Peyton Manning drops back and he throws it to Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Oh, and sacked by Waluigi.
Waluigi, the wiener.
I guess if he would have just thrown it, he would have get sacked.
It's picked up by Wario.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kirby inhaled the ball again.
God damn it, Kirby. Now he's weird shaped and brown.
No, he turned into Hey Arnold.
Oh, yeah.
That would happen.
Hey, football head. Man, we went off on a tangent. Anyway, this week I went down to the beach, down to Ocean City, Maryland.
Okay.
While I was there, I enjoyed a fractured prune donut. Fractured Prune is like a chain of like in-house making donut places down there.
I thought that was like a poop thing.
No, I don't know why they call it the Fractured Prune. Their logo's like a little like one of the California raisins basically, but he's like got a crutch and he's got a bashed up leg.
Okay, and how was the donut?
It's so good. They make all these different varieties. The one that I had was a chocolate covered banana. So they use a banana glaze and then put dark chocolate chips on it, and it's just amazing. It's hot, it's still hot because they like cook it right there.
Yeah, I need to be honest with you. I don't like donuts. I don't like bananas that much, and I don't like chocolate. So.
Well, then you're not American.
I mean, I like banana. Wait, bananas aren't American.
Well,
actually,
we
pretty exclusively import bananas.
Yeah, but we incited the banana war. Mm-hmm. Read your history.
I will say that I like bananas, like actually the fruit, but banana flavored things, not a fan.
Well, I think they make it with real banana. Anyway, it was good. It was good. So that got a 10 out of 10 from me. And
wow.
Yeah, it was a fantastic.
Fractured prune.
Fractured prune.
Fractured prune hole.
They also make donut sandwiches. Or they just...
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
donut is
like
bread.
but they use like a plain donut. They don't glaze it or anything.
I saw a glazed... There's a place that does glazed donut burgers. To me, it looks disgusting.
I made one of those once. Not bad at all.
Ugh, gross.
Use them Krispy Kremes. Anyway.
Is that the extent of your trip that you wanted to share with us?
Well, I mean, we review things. We review food. You reviewed a Crunchwrap a couple weeks ago. I'm reviewing a banana split donut.
Okay, all right.
Also, turns out every couple of years, very seldom, a wind will blow from the bay, like west towards the ocean, and a whole bunch of biting flies will swarm on the beach in the evenings. And this happened to be one of those years. So we went down there, go for a walk, take some pictures. All of a sudden, we see all these people dancing around and running back to the shore, or away from the shore. And we were like, what's going on there? And then they swarmed on us. Let me tell you, it's like getting bit by fire ants all over your frickin' body.
So what would you give your out of 10 for that?
Getting bit by a bunch of biting flies?
Yeah, while at the beach.
I'm going to say it was 3.
Okay, so
like you're still at the beach.
Yeah, I was saying, like 30%'s good. I mean, the other 70...
Having to be at the beach during the full moon was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I would sacrifice like a couple bites for a full moon beach trip.
Yeah.
With some fractured
bubbles. The beach was much better during the day when the flies weren't there.
Yeah, isn't the beach normally closed after dark?
No.
Yeah, with the beach...
You can be there anytime you want.
That is not true. If the beach cops roll up, they will tell you to leave.
Well, they might tell you to leave, but you're on a whole beach.
Yeah, I guess
I've been out there at like 3 a.m, passed out drunk before.
Yeah, okay, and if they found you, you would be committing a crime.
Okay.
Yeah, don't tell our listeners, like, it's totally cool, go do whatever the hell you want.
Okay, well, there's not a sign that's like, park closed after dusk.
You might want to look around. I'm pretty sure there's one of those signs somewhere.
Well, it's a large beach. Anyway, that's beside the point.
The flies didn't get the memo, that's for sure.
Bastards. Anyway, it was a fun trip. Now, when I got back, I did check out a couple nerdy things, geeky things. First, I watched the Angry Birds movie with my children, which I had not yet seen.
Interesting thing to start with.
Phenomenal cast, by the way. I did not know who was all in that movie. Jason Sudeikis, Bill Hader, Danny McBride, Sean Penn is in the movie, but he doesn't have any lines. His character is the really big bird, Terrence, and it's just Sean Penn grunting the entire movie.
Doesn't he like take a big piss or something?
No. That's Peter Dinklage's character.
Oh, even better.
Which was the giant eagle. No, this is the big red bird.
Oh, gotcha.
He literally just grunts. They got Sean Penn to grunt in a sound booth.
That's very South Park of them.
Yeah, it was. And actually, I was just talking about that to my wife, telling her, they got George Clooney to bark like a dog, and in this case, they got Sean Penn to just grunt.
So the birds encounter the pigs with Bill Hader as the king pig or whatever.
Yeah, Bill Hader's the king pig.
And then they fight?
More or less, the pigs steal all the eggs, and then the birds get together to go steal them back.
Huh. Sounds like a game I played once.
Yeah, kind of. But it was really funny. The humor is all very self-referential. Jason Sudeikis is Red, the main bird, and he's basically like if we were in that world, because everyone else in that world is like, yeah, we're birds, and we live in this weird bird world. And he's like, don't you guys realize that this is all fucking dumb?
Yeah.
Like, everything that happens in that movie, he keeps pointing out, like, we're really doing this, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, as an adult, I'd say check it out. There's also a lot of adult humor in there, and it's not even, like, most of it's, like, covered up, like, by a bird pun. So, he'll say, like, pluck my life,
Mm-hmm.
or, like, we're a group of angry flocking birds.
Yeah.
And
Do they ever say, suck my cock?
No.
Or, like, bite my cock?
But at, like, one point,
You're a cock?
No, they don't mention cock at all.
That's a perfect bird pun.
It is, but that one's a bit on the nose, or on the beak.
Yeah.
At one point in the movie, when they're like, all the eggs are gone, that's our children. Josh Gad's character, who's the yellow bird, Chuck, he's like, you know what that means that we have to do? We have to start making new ones. Yeah, ladies, we're going to be laying some eggs tonight. And he's
no.
He makes a thrusting motion. And I'm like, this is a children's movie.
Not anymore.
No, like, it wasn't even veiled. He made, like, the I'm going down a ski slope, you know, like, hands out, hands back.
Yeah, he was French frying.
Yeah, they had to hold him back before he straight up, like, duck raped a girl.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's poor bird.
Yeah.
And by the way, just for you listeners, if you've never seen a duck's penis, or just don't know anything about duck sex, look it up. Google duck sex. Pause the podcast right now. Google duck sex, and then, actually, sorry, wait till I'm finished. Then pause it. Google duck sex. Be horrified, and then keep listening to the rest of this, because I promise you, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it's basically a genital arms race between male and female ducks.
All I'm going to say is corkscrew penis.
And corkscrew vagina.
Yeah.
But a corkscrew is the opposite direction.
It's a cruel joke of evolution.
Yes. But did you know that a duck's penis apparently falls off at the end of every mating season and grows back proportionate to the number of rivals it has? So there's a bunch of dude ducks, all their dicks are super big. But if there's only like one dude duck, he's got a smaller penis.
I did not know that. I can see why they're angry birds now.
Yeah, they're just like, all these fucking dudes, I've got the most average penis.
I guess this is why they call it a waterfowl. Mallard.
Go duck yourself.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, so Angry Birds, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Good, okay, cool.
Now, another thing that I checked out, I know you checked out as well, is the new Rogue One trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was awesome.
I did, I enjoyed
They stayed away from the loud wow noise.
There was a little bit of it.
There was just one note of it.
Right.
As opposed to it going for several seconds, making people go, is there a dying cat outside? Which I know that was the siren from the old Death Star, so like it makes sense, but a lot of people were like, the fuck is going on here?
So right out the box, before we get into another tangent of duck penis, I would say that this trailer I really enjoyed. It got me pumped for the movie, obviously, so it was good. My favorite part of it was certainly either A, seeing more of like the kind of war stuff and then pick up an RPG and shoot it out.
Oh, yeah, and it made the whole head turn.
Which apparently that is not an AT-AT. It is a different version that's like a mini AT-AT, so they're smaller than the Hoth ones.
You know, and I thought that looking at it, because, I mean, yeah, there's a sense of scale there, so...
And so that was, I thought was awesome. And then obviously Darth Vader at the end.
Oh, yeah. Just that little...
They could have literally had Darth Vader shaving his legs or something. I would have been excited about it.
Shaving his robot legs?
Yep.
How much of Darth Vader is a person? Is it just his head?
Well, he's mostly more machine now than man. So.
Yeah.
No.
You think, like, if you take off his clothes, he's just a skinny dude in there?
You know exactly how much was from Revenge of the Sith. So he doesn't have legs. He's missing one arm. Well, and the rest of him's human.
That's at that point. But then there's, like, 30 years of Star Wars.
That's true.
Yeah. So, like...
Well, I'm assuming...
There's been some wars with stars.
Presumably, I think his body is that amount. I think his body is his body, missing 2 legs and an arm. But by more machine now than man, they also mean that he probably has, like, an iron lung.
Or, like, his soul.
No, I'm saying... Well, yes, but...
He's got a metal soul.
I guess, but Obi-Wan wasn't that vague. Actually, yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
I think it means like his. Like,
he literally says, in a manner of speaking, I was right.
From my point of view.
Yeah, he's like, point of view, there's a war on. Like, you can't do that.
Okay, before we just take another, like, 40 minutes discussing this, just really quick, I think Darth Vader has a lot of metal organs. But, two, that is the one thing about Star Wars, more than Jar Jar, more than Attack of the Clones just as a whole, more than any of that, the one thing that pisses me off the most about Star Wars is just how nonchalant he is. He's like, well, what I said was a lie, but it's also a truth from my point of view. Luke, you'll learn. It's all about your point of view. If I was Luke, I'd be like, no, fuck you. You lied to my face. Like, this is no point of view about this. You lied. You know what? You are a liar.
Yeah, to be topical, it's a very Donald Trump way of doing things.
Yeah.
To be like, I mean, I was being, clearly they don't understand sarcasm. I was being sarcastic.
It's your point of view.
Well, not that sarcastic. Like,
yeah, it's all from your point of view.
Yeah, seriously, there's a war happening. You know, we're having us a good old-fashioned Star War. You need to give me details, bro.
Well, and okay, I get the idea that if you were to just straight up say, like, nah, man, Darth Vader's your dad, like, Luke would have freaked out right then and there and be like, don't give me that lightsaber, I don't want to be a Jedi,
or maybe he would have gone and joined the Empire.
Yeah, or something.
Because at the beginning of the movie, he's talking about joining the Academy. It's only, like, basically his family being murdered that makes him be like, no, I'm a rebel. I rebel.
No, he wants to join the Alliance, I think, from the beginning.
No, at the beginning he talks about, and if you do read the novelization, it goes into it even deeper about how his buddy who joined the Academy and was going to be a TIE fighter pilot, and he was going to go to the Flight Academy, and that kind of all turns around when he comes home to Uncle Owen and Peru and finds them charred to a crisp.
Yeah, but I feel like if he would have known from the get-go that it was his dad, that talk on Bespin would have been, like, more intense, like, as opposed to him just saying, no, it's impossible, you're my dad. He'd be like, no, I know you're my dad. Obi-Wan told me.
That'd be a lame talk. Actually, it'd be way more interesting if he was just like, you killed my father, him also meaning it figuratively.
Yeah.
And Darth Vader's like, no, I'm your father. And he's like, well, yeah.
From your point of view. He says, like, well, what I said is also true from any point of view.
Just to see Luke like, well, yeah, no, I know that. I mean, like, you're a dick, and you used to not be a dick.
Right. Anyway, all that aside, you know what? Obi-Wan could have also said that, and by the way, your mom, she died in childbirth. It was really weird. Like,
yeah.
And your sister's going to tell you that she remembers your mom. That's bullshit.
Also, there's these weird little things in your blood called midichlorians.
Yeah, by the way, I failed to mention the midichlorians.
Yeah. Also, there's this weird little green guy who lives on a swamp planet. I'm not going to wait till I die to tell you this. I'm going to just tell it to you now.
Go find Yoda, right? Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go together.
Why? Instead of going to Alderaan, let's go to Yoda right now.
Yeah, he's the best one. Maybe he didn't know that Yoda was on Dagobah until he died, and his spirit was just drifting through the galaxy, and be like, "Shit, that's fucking Yoda down there."
You know what? The other thing is why didn't Yoda just hang out with Obi-Wan? Yoda could have literally just put on a thing, and everyone would have thought he was a Jawa. No one would have known.
Well, it's for the same reason.
I guess the ears. The ears would give it away.
It's for the same reason. He got really scared and crawled away, and then went up to that guy and was just like, "Get me out of here!"
Actually, what he says exactly is, "Hurry!" he says,
"I love your Yoda."
He goes, "Hurry, my little green friend."
Man,
Okay, no. Time to move on.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
They still haven't unpaused it from the duck piece. All right, so I think it's time for the Geek of the Week.
Oh, but the Rogue One trailer was awesome.
Oh yeah, it was good.
9 out of 10. Whatever.
From your point of view.
Yeah.
All right. So the Geek of the Week this week, I think it was Thursday. In Decline, which is an anarchist collective that mostly is artists and stuff, they in 5 cities across the United States erected statues that were created. These 5 identical statues of Donald Trump, completely naked. And
the Emperor Has No Balls campaign.
Well, it turns out then they gave him no testicles.
Yes. And a micro penis.
Well, a small penis and a bunch of ginger pubes and no balls. And people loved it. They were taking pictures with it, laughing at it.
Well, there are a lot of people on the internet being like, "This is all about body shaming.
Well, yeah,
you can hate Donald Trump and not have to do that." And I'm like, Can't we just have this one?
I didn't see anybody who did that.
I was reading a long thing about it.
But this isn't a story about them. And this isn't an award for them. No. This story and this award goes to the government, actually.
Yeah. The New York Parks and Rec.
So what happened was, New York took the statue down after about like 45 minutes or something. But the best part was that at first people were like, "Oh, New York, you're taking away our phone and whatever." But then,
well, I mean, they took their time.
Yeah, well then, but then the City of New York's Parks Department, who took it down, released their wonderful press statement that said, and I quote, New York City Parks stands firmly against any unpermitted erection in city parks, no matter how small. Which is fantastic.
I mean, let's count the dick jokes in there. Firm. Erection.
No matter how small.
Small.
And parks. Like you park your dick in something.
Nobody says that.
Donald Trump might.
I'm going to go park my dick in a garage.
Anyway, so I found that hilarious, and when I sent it to you, you felt the same way.
Yeah. It's kind of like last week where, like, Lathan Crump was the one that was actually doing something, but the horse gets the award.
Yeah. So, like, in decline...
God, I'm never going to forget that guy's name.
In decline, that's cool. Do you want to protest? Usually anarchists I find a little too...
Anarchy-y?
Yeah, that's the word.
We'll go
whiny? We'll go with that word. But, New York, way to make a non-political statement, but a total joke on one of your...
One of your own?
Yeah, one of your own. I was thinking, like, not your pride son or whatever.
Not your prodigal son.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not, like, the favored son of New York. He's more like the bastard child.
Right.
You know nothing, Donald Trump.
So, New York's Parks Department, you are our Geek of the Week.
Yeah. Congratulations. Stand firm on your erections.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? One other thing to mention before we get on, and this is actually a good, speaking of orgies moment.
Okay.
So the Ben-Hur movie came out.
Oh, yeah.
The new Ben-Hur, and this is related to our topic, so let me finish. The new Ben-Hur movie came out. I didn't see it.
Neither did I.
I spoke to someone who did, and they said that they enjoyed it. But that's what I found fascinating was this movie cost about $100 million to make.
That's pretty cheap.
It only made $10 million this weekend.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's in trouble.
I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be like, you know, comic book movie numbers.
It wasn't Charlton Heston.
No, it wasn't.
But $10 million is not a lot of change when you're a big Hollywood end of summer blockbuster.
$100 million to make the movie, but also how much to market it, how much to get it playing in theaters. Yeah, that press release tours.
So
toys,
they have
clothes.
They have a big mountain decline.
Merch.
Yeah.
They're gonna have stores full of Ben-Hur merch.
I don't know how many Ben-Hur toys they made. But
oh yeah, just chariots and lopped off heads.
Yeah. But the reason why I bring this up is two reasons. One, because that sucks. But two, for them. Not for us. I might never see it.
Oh, I invested heavily in that movie.
Oh yeah,
I have to sell one of my children.
But two, because it is a phenomenally, apparently not worth seeing remake of a classic great movie, Ben-Hur.
Right.
Which is some just considered the best movie ever. So, our topic tonight, if you guys have been keeping track of our 5th week top 5s.
Yeah.
Yay, whoopee! Our 5th week top 5 this week is, in our opinion, the top 5 worst movie remakes.
Yeah. Now, to just be clear on this, these aren't just ones that are not as good as the original, because that's a lot of them. But these are ones that the remake is actually complete garbage.
Like, it almost makes the original worse. So we're talking, like, really bad.
Absolutely. So, I think we should just hop right into it.
Okay.
What do you say for number 5?
Alright, so hear me out here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention how the original film and how good it was, and then I'll lament on the remake.
Okay.
So for number 5 for me, I'm going to go with Godzilla.
Okay.
So Godzilla, obviously...
Not the most recent one.
I'll tell you. So Godzilla, King of the Monsters, fantastic. I love all the Japanese ones. As stupid they are with the...
Oh, yeah, you and I used to watch those a lot when we were kids.
With the rubber suits and the silly effects and twins that are small little fairies singing songs about Mothra. I love it. I love all of it. And also, just an aside, Toho announced that they're making an animated Godzilla, the first ever in the franchise. An animated Godzilla movie made from the Godzilla studio.
Oh, cool.
Which maybe that'll be a shitty remake too, who knows. But... the remake I'm referring to is not the Gareth Edwards Godzilla from last year. No, I'm referring to the Matthew Broderick, 98 Godzilla.
99?
Whatever. The late 90s Godzilla. In which they took Godzilla and made him CG for the first time, and it wasn't good.
Because they didn't even make him look like Godzilla.
They made him look like a weird iguana T-Rex thing.
Iguana monster.
They squished him, so he's significantly smaller than Godzilla's ever been.
Yeah.
They made Godzilla a girl that was laying eggs, or made it...
I think they make it a very clear point that he doesn't have sex.
Right. They made it, actually, that's like a line in the movie. Where's the fun in that?
I recall that.
They make it have babies, and then they're like raptor babies.
Yeah, they were just like raptors.
They had that entire...
They were just like, hey, how can we make Jurassic Park but with Godzilla?
They had that entire weird subplot with the French CIA... with Jean Reno.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, and then he was chewing the gum, Elvis Presley movies and gum, so I speak American. It was really...
Dude, you're on point with your accents. You should have done the Hannibal Buress.
Yeah, that movie was just really bad.
Oh, take that, Hollywood.
And the thing is, okay, we were talking about this actually before the show. This doesn't mean you can't watch and enjoy the movie. Because to be honest, if Godzilla's on TV, on FX, I will watch it and have a good chuckle at the French guys or whatever. But it's a bad movie.
And there are things in that movie that stick out in my memory that I still quote to this day. If someone has a Greek last name, I'm like, Dodopodopoulos, the worm guy.
Yeah. Populous. Or that scene when he says he standing in it, and he's like, hey, where is it? I can't see it. Where is it? And there's a footprint. General, it was a footprint. I was in a footprint.
And I know this is going to almost sound racist, but follow me on this. Anytime a Japanese person looks surprised, in my head they're saying, Kojira.
Oh yeah, because they're going to send the fire. Yeah.
Kojira.
Also, the whole romantic subplot with that was just dumb.
Yeah,
Matthew Broderick and that girl who I presume hasn't been in anything else.
Yeah, I wanted to say Heather Graham, but I know it's not her.
No. It's maybe Heather Graham Cracker or something.
Other blonde girl. I'm sure she's a famous actress and has been in a lot of things, but I can't even remember right now.
Yeah, so that's my number 5.
Okay, that's fair. My number 5 is a little ditty from a couple of years ago. Do you remember the original Clash of the Titans?
Of course.
What a fantastic
Not
film.
to be confused with Clash of the Tights.
Not Clash of the Tights.
No, great movie.
Weird that we got that idea from that.
Yeah, strange. The special effects in that one were great because it was one of those last weird claymation stop motion.
Yeah, it was great for its time. Had a lot of really cool moments, with all the pieces falling down and when they were the gods having all the little pieces on the game board sort of thing.
The whole Medusa scene.
Yeah, the Medusa scene, the Kraken scene. For the time, that was fantastic.
Right, and Pegasus.
And you had some silly shit like the robot owl for whatever reason. It was a great movie.
Yeah, great.
And then they did it again a couple of years back.
With Jake Sully from Avatar.
Oh god, I'm drawing a blank on that actor's
name. They had Jake Sully from Avatar.
Yeah,
he was him, Liam Neeson. It had a really good cast.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd say he's a really good actor.
Liam Neeson?
No, not Liam Neeson.
Oh, Jake Sully.
Jake Sully.
He was good in Avatar.
I mean, he just plays the same guy in every movie.
Yes, so he's Keanu Reeves.
But he's not on the caliber of a Keanu Reeves.
That's valid.
Because nobody's we got to get Keanu Reeves in this movie.
Yeah, but the new Clash of the Titans it left something missing.
Here's the thing about it. First of all, yeah, it's a big, dumb action blockbuster movie with monsters and shit, which is fine. It's fun to watch, even though but it doesn't capture the nuance of the original movie, and it doesn't push the boundaries like the original movie did. So in that respect, it's just disappointing. It's just another big romp with weird CGI. The Kraken didn't look right. Obviously they didn't want to do it the same thing they did in the original, but they made it a weird giant octopus monster, which I know in folklore it really is an octopus monster, but you know what I mean. The original Kraken was a giant merman
thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the scorpions. They were cool.
Yeah.
That girl they picked who was like, she wasn't like the princess that was trying to be saved, like that other girl.
Right.
She was cool, I thought.
But
no,
it was an overwhelmingly forgettable movie.
Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown.
I could not quote a single line from it. I remember the scorpions, but again, even all that stuff, like, I'd like to see at least some practical effects.
I can quote one line from it.
What's that?
Unleash the Kraken.
Did they actually say it in the movie?
I'm pretty sure Liam Neeson says it.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be worth the ticket price.
Valid, yeah. Well, I mean, hearing him say it in his voice and everything.
Yeah. Unleash the Kraken.
That was not a good Liam Neeson.
No, it wasn't.
All right, go ahead. What's up next?
Right. Number 4.
All right, so my number 4, I'm going to go with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, hear me out. I adore the Gene Wilder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always say Gene Hackman when I mention Gene Wilder.
Sometimes I accidentally say Van Wilder.
Oh, there you go. So. But the 1970s Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka, that obviously has the musical numbers, it has the Oompa Loompas that are ridiculous, it's got the really bizarre boat scene, but the whole movie, in fact, there's only one thing about that movie I don't like, and it's when Charlie Bucket's mom sings that weird, "Get up, Charlie."
Oh, yeah.
Other than that
but the rest of the music in that movie is fantastic.
Everything else is great. The whole rest of the movie is fantastic and awesome. And so I really love that movie. I've loved it since I was a kid. And I used to love the book, too. Which is interesting because, so the Tim Burton remake, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which tried to stick more to the book with Johnny Depp and everything, I did not like.
No, it's dumb.
It was dumb. The jokes were flat. It didn't have the wonderful music.
And his Willy Wonka didn't come off as charming and lovable like Gene Wilder. It just came off as creepy, like kind of rapey.
Yeah, I really. And then the whole his dad being a dentist thing.
Yeah.
Now that wasn't from the book, I don't think.
No, that was just
that was thrown in there. Yeah. And I don't know, Tim Burton. Like, I feel like Tim Burton's one of those guys who. His first few movies were real good, so everybody like assumes that he's going to be really good from then on, and he kind of isn't good anymore.
I don't know if it's so much that as they're tying his hands by being like, here's all this money, you're going to be making this big CGI blockbuster, and he's like, that's not what I do. I make little things, I make smaller movies than that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Overall, I did not like it. It kind of creeped me out. Just the idea of, and even just like his look, how his Willy Wonka looked with that weird hair and
the white face makeup.
And the whole colors of the whole movie were so, like...
He doesn't look like a human.
None of them do.
Yeah.
They look like monstrosities.
Yeah. It's very twisted. Just like the Alice in Wonderland characters.
Right.
Which were also Tim Burton.
Yeah, I mean, Alice in Wonderland I didn't not like, but this one I did not like.
Yeah.
And it sucked because I was really excited for it, too, when it came out.
Yeah. Okay, so for my number 4, I have RoboCop.
Oh my God!
That was done just a couple years ago.
Yeah, what a bad movie.
Yeah, it's not good. I watched it and I was like, I know I'm supposed to be feeling something for this guy, but I don't.
Okay, so my thing is the original RoboCop very blatantly was satirizing like the ultra violence of action movies,
yes,
and police brutality and crime and the war on crime and all these things. It was making fun of them. That's like the point of the movie. This one,
I mean, there is some heart beneath it.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that but this one had none of that.
They tried to go way too dramatic with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They lost the fun in RoboCop by trying to make it like really emotional and really depressing. I'm like, don't do that.
Right.
Do you know that guy is Rick Flag in Suicide Squad?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah.
I actually didn't remember what RoboCop looked like without his RoboCop.
Yeah, well, he looks like Rick Flag if he shaved.
And the thing is like, RoboCop, the original RoboCop, looks stupid, but that's the point.
Oh, yeah. It looks extremely impractical.
They tried to make this RoboCop look cool.
Hard to do.
Yeah.
Hard to do.
That's like trying to make Winnie the Pooh look cool in pants. Like he don't wear pants.
The RoboCop that they made in this movie is like if you took Batman and Mega Man and you shimmied them into one dude.
Yeah.
But the problem is,
I would say Batman and Proto Man.
Okay, fair enough.
Like
deep cuts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
with a little bit of Cyclops thrown in there too.
Yeah. So
he looked like the X-Men from 2000s Cyclops mixed with Batman. Like if you put those two together.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and
in knight's armor.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't like it at all.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The only thing that was kind of good about that movie was Michael Keaton as the villain.
Yeah.
And that's just because I love Michael Keaton and everything he does.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
Anyway, so, whoa, hey there, Mr. Keaton. Anyway, yeah, all right. So, going on, what is your number 3?
All right, for me, number 3, and follow me here. I'm going to go with the most recent Karate Kid, starring Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan.
That wonderful pile of human.
So I just want to put this out there. The original Karate Kid, I'm not like a big fan of, but it's entertaining, and it is like a classic, iconic movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wax on, wax off, all that good stuff. This new one was just bad. And, like, I liked the idea of trying to, make the main character of another race, and
I like the idea of Jackie Chan playing Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, I like Jackie Chan's a funny dude, but it was not good by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
In fact, I would go as far as to say it was bad. Very bad.
I don't blame you for saying that.
Yeah. I mean, like, I felt like the dialogue was stupid. It didn't have, like, the funny jokes or anything that the old one had. And really, Jaden Smith, I mean, I've never met him in real life, but he was not a likable main character.
Well, he's not likable on the internet. Now, one thing I will say about it that I think, take this, Hollywood. You need to understand that if you're remaking something from the 80s, it doesn't always fit modern day. If it's like a teen movie, like if it was a John Hughes sort of high school movie or whatever, because back then the bullies tried to murder people, and now with our anti-bully culture, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, in that movie, it's like, you're going to have to murder him in order for us to win. He's going to leave in a body bag. You remember the line?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't fly in modern society, because it's like, that kid wants to kill that other kid?
And,
why don't they talk about it?
And obviously, like bullying and all that stuff still exists, but we live also in another era where, like, back then, if someone was walking down the street reading a comic book, they'd be like, "Oh, you nerd, you're a fucking nerd." If you do that now, it would be like, no, in real life, like...
And if they only called him a nerd, they were being super PC.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, now, like, that happened today. Like, everyone around him would be like, "Dude, screw you, comic books are awesome, man. Like, come with me, kid. Like, forget this guy."
And they'd be like, "You got scrawny arms." Be like, stop body shaming him.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, a lot of people are like, PC's out of control. I love that about PC culture. Right. That, like, people stick up for other people.
Well, it's not even that, and it's also just, like, things are now, or people are more accepting of lots of different things.
Yeah.
Like, you can say, no, like, you could have a main character who loves sports and is a huge computer nerd, and also stands up for, like, gay rights, and that's, that's the character you want.
Like, if they remade Back to the Future, it'd be like, hey, do you remember how Biff Tannen tried to murder Marty McFly and then rape his own mother?
Yeah.
Not his own mother, like Marty's mother,
yeah.
is what I meant to say. Like, yeah, that character can exist now outside of an R-rated film.
Right.
Anyway, that's beside the point. So, that's a solid pick for number 3. My number 3 is the remake to Total Recall.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch that?
I started to, and I fell asleep.
I gotta tell you, as I was coming up with this, I realized I didn't remember anything about the remake except that Colin Farrell was in it, and it had something to do with using an elevator that went through the core of the planet, I think, and that he works down. I don't even remember if he goes into Total Recall world. I assume he does. I just remember walking out of it and being like, that wasn't Total Recall. That was a mediocre at best action movie that they named Total Recall.
Now let me preface this that I can't give too much of an opinion because I actually wasn't a big fan of the original Total Recall.
What?
Like I have to see it again. It's been a really long time, but I remember the most recent time I saw it, I kind of was like, well, that was okay. Like that was nothing great. Kind of confusing.
I think that Total Recall was like, and movies like that, like Blade Runner and stuff, are the inspiration for what Christopher Nolan does now with these like these like action thriller type movies that have a lot of psychological aspects to them.
Right.
Where at the end of the movie, you're like, what the hell was that about?
I guess I just can't take Arnold Schwarzenegger like super seriously.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a good action star.
He's an actor. Yeah, he's an actor.
He's a great politician.
He's a politician. He's an actor and a former governor.
Fair enough. Number 2.
All right, so for me, number 2, I am going to go with The Wicker Man, starring the one and only Nicolas Cage. So if you've never seen the original Wicker Man from the 70s or 60s, I forget. I think it's the 70s. It's a like British like horror movie about this like detective guy who goes to this island, and it's like in like Scotland or something. It's really creepy. It's a super creepy movie, and it's really, really, really well done. It's one of those like the whole movie you're kind of like with the main character because you're thinking like, what the hell's going on this island? Or why do they go out and just like have sex in the grass? And oh, is this cool? Is he gonna meet a girl? And then suddenly it's like, oh wait a minute, they're like sacrificing people and they're like a weird cult. Like it was really good and really creepy. The new one with Nicolas Cage was just so bad.
Oh, well, like, you should have led with Wicker Man starring Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, everything that they tried to take straight from the old one and redo was not good. The acting was not good, and the most infamous is, and it's become something of a meme, is the bees! Ah! Because he gets his head trapped in this thing with these, like, bees that, like, stinging him. He's like, I hate bees! And that's just...
Why did it have to be bees?
Yeah, it's just really... That's one of those moments where I was like, oh no, I can't handle anymore.
Well, I haven't seen any of the Wicker Men, but I will say that when you said it starred Nicolas Cage and it was based off of a British like thriller horror movie, I was like, that doesn't sound good at all.
Well, the original is good. The Nicolas Cage one is pretty fucking horrible.
Well, it should be if it made your number 2 spot.
Yeah, the bees.
My number 2 spot is a little film from just a couple years ago named Fantastic Four, or Fant4stick, as it has been declared because people don't even want to call it Fantastic Four. This is one of the worst movies in like Rotten Tomatoes, and everyone agrees like the worst comic book movie out there.
I didn't even take the time to see it.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it. Again, they tried to make it dark and gritty and compelling or whatever, and they messed up all of the characters. They messed up Dr. Doom most of all. They made him weird and dumb. Apparently everything's just kind of thrown together. Takes forever for anything to happen in that movie. And they lost the campiness that they embraced in the first Fantastic Four movie, which they should not have lost, because Fantastic Four is a really campy comic book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the first, ensembles, and they're meant to be silly.
They are.
Your main guy is a stretchy dude.
And the stretchy dudes are never serious.
No, they're never serious.
Yeah,
and then you got a big rock guy who literally says it's clobbering time.
Yeah.
He's not like... admittedly, he's not going full Arnold and being like, I will rock your world.
Normal strike.
Yeah. I was thinking Mr. Freeze.
Oh, yeah, that too.
not just Mobile Strike.
Oh, I just think, when I think Arnold Schwarzenegger now, I think Mobile Strike.
It's clobbering time. I'll rock your world. You want to get stoned?
Oh, yeah, that would be good. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
I'm
going to send you to Boulder, Colorado.
Well, then they also have Flame Boy, and then they have Girl who can turn invisible, but somehow also has force fields.
Yeah, I think her power ends up being based on like manipulating light.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I didn't like the original Fantastic Four movie. I thought it was not good. Jessica Alba was good.
I think the first one's good. I think it's funny. And I think it did what it was meant to be.
Having the dude from Nip Tuck as the villain was weird.
Yeah, and they didn't get... I don't know why.
Dr. Doom sucked.
I don't know why we're so afraid of making Dr. Doom who he is in the comic books. He has magic armor. Just give him magic armor. It doesn't have to be his skin. It doesn't have to be that he was shot by a radioactive laser. He is the warlord of a country. He is the president of Latvia, or not Latvia. He's the president.
Is it Latavia or something?
Yeah. He is the president of a country. He is like the military dictator, and he happens to have magic armor that gives him awesome powers. Like,
yeah,
that's a good enough story.
And he is,
and his name is Victor Von Doom, and he is a doctor, so his name is Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
In all the movies, they try to change his name, and then they force it.
It's Latveria.
Latveria, not Latvia.
Latvia is something else.
It's a real country.
Yeah, it's a real country. Yeah, Dr. Doom, in times I've encountered him in the various media.
All those times you run into him on the red carpet.
No, I'm thinking about comic, but also like video games and even like cartoons and stuff. He's cool.
He's a great villain.
In movie, he was bad.
And in Secret Wars, he actually becomes God. And that's awesome. God Doom is a really compelling villain.
Right.
And I'd love to see that brought to the big screen.
So basically what you're saying is Fantastic Four gets less than a 4 out of 10.
Look, it's time for Fantastic Four to go over to Marvel just like Spider-Man did, and for them to reboot it and make it right. Give it the campiness it deserves, but also introduce it into the universe. And give us a real Dr. Doom.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully they could pull it off.
So that's number 2.
Alright, so here's my number 1.
Number 1.
So one of the sweetest movies of the 80s, both because it had such a great cast, but also because it did a good job of connecting what was going on in the socio-political world and making it into a great fictional story that people bought into, because kind of what we were saying, it's just the world was a different place. People bought into it because they felt like, holy shit, this could actually happen, and it was such a inspiring kind of thing. So was Red Dawn.
Oh yeah,
Red Dawn,
awesome. One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, great movie, and it had a great story, great characters, and it really made you feel like this. If you were watching that in 1985 or something, you'd think this could actually happen. This is crazy.
Yeah, Wolverine, shing.
Yeah. Yes. Now, fast forward to 2012, and there is a second Red Dawn.
Yeah.
But this one, I think this is the worst remake ever.
Really?
Yeah, I hate it. Okay,
well, I guess you do have it as your number 1.
Yeah, so, for one thing, the idea is that, they change it from this idea that it was during the Cold War, which, okay, and at any moment the Soviets could invade or we were going to have a nuclear war. That's frightening, and that sets up this idea that, yeah, World War III could start at any time. That made the movie more plausible.
It was during a real time of heightened tension.
This was just North Korean troops invade the United States at some point.
North Korea, that country that can keep the lights on.
So, yeah, they wanted to remake it, so they just chose the villain that's actually a country and not terrorists.
Yeah.
Made North Korea invades the U.S. They replaced the cast with, okay, it was cool to have Thor in there, but they were not likable.
No.
Drake and Josh, that guy, the Josh there. Peter Malark from fucking...
It was basically have you been in a young adult movie?
Yeah. Are you a teenage heartthrob?
Yeah.
Be in our movie. It was not, and that is what the original one was. Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, the chick from Leah Thompson from Back to the Future, the other girl from Dirty Dancing. Yes, but they were good.
Yeah.
This was bad.
No, yeah.
The story was bad.
The
action was bad.
I mean, the entire premise is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Not in the modern day. That just couldn't happen.
Right.
If North Korea tried anything, they'd be shot down by...
and also, we
long before they made it to our coast.
Also, it's just we live in a different world. There would be... In 2012, I mean, it's not as up to date as 2016, but still, it's well, now we have drones, and the warfare is different, and you're not going to have tanks just rolling down the street.
No one is going to occupy the U.S., let alone, least of all, North Korea.
Yeah, and also, it's it made more sense because, oh yeah, the Russians teamed up with the Cubans, which made complete sense, and invaded and pincer attacked America. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Having North Korea just fly over the Pacific Ocean and say, hey, what's up? We're going to invade you guys.
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't get here. There's no way.
The only thing that I will give that movie credit for is that they killed Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
And that was... So many movies are afraid of killing a main character.
Right.
That was a really good choice. Well, and it was out of nowhere.
Well, but Red Dawn, the original, did kill Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
And that was and that's... The thing was, it didn't have that, the gravity of that, final battle when Charlie Sheen and Patrick Swayze go in at the end of the movie, that's like the most intense, like you were like, holy shit, this is awesome. And they fought that, whatever they called that guy, the big mean,
the
wolf guy, or whatever his name was. Fox or something.
I don't remember.
Well, he was awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Old Red Dawn is probably like an 8.5 for me, maybe a 9.
Oh yeah, no.
New Red Dawn 1.
Yeah, ugh. You really didn't like that one.
No,
I would have given it more than a 1.
But... Oh, I didn't like it at all. All right, your number 1.
My number 1 is, in my opinion, one of the worst films ever made. It's a remake of a classic called Planet of the Apes.
Oh, goodness gracious.
The 2001 remake with Marky Mark himself.
Yeah, and this is not Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, no.
That movie's awesome.
Yeah, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is
also good.
I think even better.
Yeah, I thought it was better too.
Yeah, I love those movies.
Yeah.
And Andy Serkis is fantastic.
And I love the old Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
Even the silly ones.
You mean all of them?
Number 1 wasn't so silly, but...
I mean, it's a silly premise.
2 through 4 were pretty silly.
Now, 2001's Planet of the Apes, you have Mark Wahlberg go off in space.
Our man Tim Burton again.
Oh, yeah.
That was a Tim Burton movie.
Oh, god damn it.
See, I told you he's bad.
He comes back, and he's in Ape World, and it's their kind of like... What would it be, like their 13th century?
Yeah, it was like medieval.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Jesus, like, references to... Like their Jesus ape that they're waiting to come back.
Yeah. Which happened to just be that space chimp.
Yeah, well, it was his pet chimpanzee.
Yeah. God, that movie was so dumb. There was a sex scene between an orangutan man and some other manner of ape woman.
Well, it was alluded to, but... Like...
No. There's... Like, she's riding on him, and they come running through that's one of the scenes I vividly remember, because he's a big, fat orangutan on his back, and she's like, ooh, ooh, and they come running in, and like, Mark Wahlberg and the humans come charging in, and she's like, ah, ah, and she, like, covers herself up.
You know what, maybe, I actually haven't seen the theatrical cut. I've only seen, like, recently I've only seen, like, the television cut, so it's probably not in there in that.
Yeah. They had Michael Clark Duncan be the, rest in peace. The gorilla, like right-hand man.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's good casting. I will give him that. Because Michael Clark Duncan is huge.
Yeah, and he has that voice.
That deep voice. Yeah. Like, if there was anyone who was going to be a super massive bodyguard, Michael Clark Duncan is the perfect choice. The rest of the casting in that movie is piss poor.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg I like, but not... I like him in funny stuff.
He's great in comedies.
Yeah, not serious.
In serious movies, he just looks confused all the time.
I will say I'm glad that they chose a girl that no one's ever heard of to play that just random village girl.
Oh, yeah.
Good. I didn't feel like it was an actress I should care about.
And then, I mean, we've got to talk about the ending of that movie. He goes off and comes back, and now it's modern day, but he gets surrounded by ape police officers driving police cars.
That is partially like related to later Planet of the Apes movies.
And then he sees Abraham Lincoln. Whole stinking Lincoln himself.
Right, and that didn't make any sense.
Old honest ape.
Yeah, that was the part that really I was like, oh man.
And I know what they were trying to do, which was like the Statue of Liberty broken thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, you blew it up, didn't you? But in that context, it was like, oh, he's on Earth in the future. In this case, it's like, what planet are you on? That it just followed all of the same things as our Earth, except for whatever reason, with apes. Like, they made the exact same monuments. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense.
I always understood it as, well, because when he finds their ruins, the ruins are his ship.
Yeah.
The ship that he abandoned. So presumably, like, he's in the future on Earth, but then he goes back in time, but because of something he changed, the timeline changed so that the apes...
Yeah, I saw it as like like something happened and that the first movie, the movie takes place in our past, so then he comes to our present, but because he fucked up the time stream, now everything that's happened in the world has still happened, but with apes.
Yeah, it's very... Gorilla Grodd.
Like John Wilkes Baboon shot Abraham Lincoln in the back of the head.
Yeah. And the Civil War was over, I guess, freeing the humans?
Yeah. And now, like, Mandrake is the, dropping #1 singles.
Oh, yes.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. And people use mandrills to drill things.
God damn it.
I don't know. That movie was really bad.
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
Like, the new ones are good. The old ones are good.
And I'm excited to see, what is it, War of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, whatever the next one out is.
Yeah.
I must admit, I just never really thought of it. Why would Abraham Lincoln...
Yeah, like, why would they be the exact same monuments? Unless it does take place in the distant future. The apes found Washington, D.C., cut Lincoln's head off the statue, and put an ape head on the statue.
But is it just me, or isn't the ape sitting on Abraham Lincoln supposed to be the head of that ape from the movie?
It's the exact same head.
It's the same ape, right? So presumably...
Are you saying all apes look alike? Are you being apist right now?
No, a speciesist. But...
Speciesist?
No, I just really don't understand any of it.
I don't know. That movie was so goddamn dumb.
Right.
I'm going to rewatch it just to laugh at how dumb it is.
I must admit that when I first saw it as like a kid, when it first came out in 2001 or whatever, I did have a nightmare that I was on the Planet of the Apes.
Really?
I did.
You had a nightmare of apes.
I thought you were going to try and make a nightmare.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
I was going to say like a night mape.
All right, so those are our top 5 worst movie remakes.
Yeah, those are bad. Those are all bad.
Feel free to, if you want to agree or disagree, feel free to tweet at us or Facebook at us or tell us some of yours.
Speaking of movie remakes that might be awful, I just heard that Jared Leto has signed on to be in the Blade Runner remake.
I did hear that also.
Is it a remake or a sequel?
I think it's a sequel.
Well, either way, I'm not super happy about it. Just because Blade Runner's, one of the greatest movies of all time, and don't mess with things all the time. I mean, I'm not saying they can't make it great, but it might not be.
Right.
In any case, I just heard that Jared Leto signed on. So, there you have it. That's our list. So, I think we should go into our next segment.
Finish the morning off with our Clash of the Tights.
Clash of the Tights. Now, last week we pitted a spy battle, a spy-off.
Yep. It was James Bond, Mr. Bond, versus Solid Snake. And you know what? I think you and I picked Snake.
Yeah.
And I think Snake won.
Yep. So, I mean, there you have it. We're always right.
Yep.
When we agree.
There you go. Take that, Hollywood. So this week we're gonna, continuing our discussion of, movie remakes and weird, quirky characters, we were talking about Johnny Depp, and we decided our Clash of the Tights this week is going to be a deep Johnny Depp kind of battle.
Yeah. Actually, I think I want to throw a tiny wrench in this. I know we were talking about it before the show, but I'm going to throw a little twist. This is a surprise on air.
All right, so I was going to pit the Mad Hatter, Johnny Depp, versus Willy Wonka, Johnny Depp.
Yeah. But both of those guys aren't necessarily killers, but they probably are.
They might probably.
I'm going to give them each a tag team partner.
Okay.
Which is also a Johnny Depp that is a known killer.
So
it'll be Willy Wonka and Jack Sparrow.
Okay.
Versus the Mad Hatter and Sweeney Todd.
Okay, that's a good one.
So, how do you see this one panning out?
All right, right off the bat, I'm going to have to go Mad Hatter and Sweeney Todd. And this is why. Okay, Willy Wonka presumably isn't crazy. He's eccentric, but from what we saw, he's aware of what he's doing and has a conscience. And Mad Hatter, crazy.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd, crazy.
Yeah.
Sweeney Todd, also excellent swordsman, so to speak, knivesman.
Yeah, he's a rogue.
Yeah. But then Jack Sparrow does have a gun.
He does have a gun.
But it's a flintlock pistol, so it's not like a...
Well, and Mad Hatter is magic.
Yeah.
Like, he can take his head off and shit.
And he can, cast spells and stuff. I think that the magical powers of Mad Hatter, combined with Sweeney Todd's cutthroat...
Yeah.
Skill.
I mean, he's a serial killer.
Fun, yeah.
He eats people.
Meat pie. I think that they would ruthlessly murder Willy Wonka and Captain Jack. They would take Captain Jack's rum and Willy Wonka's candy and mix that and have a meal. They would eat the candy for dessert and drink some rum.
Yeah. And then lure some children in and kill them.
And Sweeney Todd could talk the Mad Hatter into eating. I'm just telling him it's a tea party.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so I think I want to agree with you. Because here's the thing. if Willy Wonka and Johnny Depp have enough time, they're going to build some weird Rube Goldberg device that is going to be, it'll kill them both. They'll lure them into a trap of, Jack Sparrow swinging around on ropes and it's like taking pop shots.
Running through a wheel.
Yeah, and then, because that's what he does in those movies. And then they'll be drowned in a lake of chocolate, or they'll be sucked up into a pipe and shoved off into an incinerator.
Or some golden geese will eat them.
Yeah, it'll be a Rube Goldberg murder machine.
Yeah.
But if they don't have the time to prepare, then they're just going to have a crazy person and a crazier person coming at them full tilt.
Right.
And I think if it's just a straight-up battle and they don't have all that prep time, then it's going to be Sweeney Todd going blade for blade with Jack Sparrow, while Mad Hatter rips his head off and bowling balls it at Willy Wonka. So I think I'm with you on this one. It's going to be Mad Hatter and Sweeney Todd.
Well, there you go. You heard it here. We agree. We think Mad Hatter and Sweeney Todd will be able to take down Wonka and Sparrow.
Yeah, dropping those Depp charges.
Oh, yeah.
So there you have it. That is our show for the week. We thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out our stuff on Facebook, on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Twitter, YouTube, all of the sites.
Yeah.
Come see it. Come see the sites. Comment on videos. Vote on our polls. Touch my poll.
Follow at Strong Geek.
Oh, yeah. You can follow me personally at the Ben Ramirez on Twitter. You can follow him at Ramrez4Prez.
And join us next week when we're talking about more stuff strong.
And more stuff geek.
Dun, dun.
I'm doing the post credits this week. Ha!